Flight Boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're not listening to the Mind Eminent Terry Smooth, Flight Boss, the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now I'm going to explain where did angels come from. Now, in all your religions and all your ancient texts, all of them start on the energy part of existence. Now, we got a frequency. These are just the names for them that I can use for right now. But you have the frequency, the vibration, and the energy. Now, the frequency is like the unconscious that could become conscious. The frequency is like the idea, the thought, the line of events, the spirit. Then you have the vibration, the soul, the rainbow waters, the experience. It came second, so it's the time, your time, the ability to move, motion, emotion, vibration, fluid. Then you have the energy realm. And the energy realm is where all your ancient texts and where all your religions start, which is the energy. All things that matter that could become matter and become into physical form. So this is where you get your less dense. Gases, liquids, and solids. Frequency, vibration, and energy within the energy realm itself. So these are things that could take all kind of shapes and forms, which is concepts, lights, sounds, stars, bodies, worlds, all kind of things that could be consciously aware of. So you could be consciously aware of. So the energy, this is the yang realm. Vibration is the yin realm. Then you have the unknown realm, which is the spirit realm. So all your religions start on the energy realm, on the third portion. And how you know that? And how you know this? Here's why. Because all your religions already have some form of waters, already have some form of fluids. You don't know where that came from, so you don't know where the vibration came from. Then it already had some form of spirit. It already was a spirit involved. The spirit was already here. Already was some form of God or spirit already here. So you don't know where that came from. And then when you get into your more religions you come today, you got the Elohim and things of that nature and stuff in religion saying that let's make man in our image and stuff like that. So it don't even explain where angels came from. You don't even know where the fuck angels came from. 1 second. Hello? Hello? Alright, here I go. 1 second. But yeah, y'all don't even know where the fuck that came from. Y'all don't even know where angels came from. So think about that. For the few seconds y'all ain't about to see me. Think about that shit real quick. You know what I'm saying? Now check this out. Now, so this is where all y'all ancient texts, religions, and everything start. So it start there. So y'all don't even know how to correlate anything to the spirit and the soul. Then you got a lot of people who get lost in the physical, and then they look at you like you're not making any sense because there's no ancient text talking about what a person like me, Archangel Uriel, would talk about. Now, so this is why I look at everything. I look at it, how I look at it. And I look at it like I'm equal to a lot of this shit when it comes to the planets and the stars. And this is why I really have a lot of my ideas the way I have it. Now, check this out. This is how the spirit is born. Now, and this is where angels came from. Now, angels are the firstborn. So they are the first expansion of the parameter of God, of the kingdom, of the head temple, of the headship. See what I'm saying? So they are the firstborn. Now, how is spirits, aka the firstborn spirits, which are angels, how are they born? Now, we was born like this. We are ideas. We was God's first form of idea, first form of expansion, first forms of thoughts. Now, there was a lot of streams of thoughts, aka a lot of angels. Hold on, so this is about to die, right? So look, as an idea, that we were the firstborn, so we are the first ideas, which means any form of concept or idea or thought that anybody can have in any realm of reality, we play out as the highest form of that, the highest form of thought, concept, and idea. Now look at it like this: since God has no body, no shape or form at all, in this realm of reality, like I said, there's a frequency, vibration, and energy in the frequency realm. There's an energy, frequency, vibration in the vibration realm, and there's an energy, frequency, vibration in the energy realm. So look, check this out. I just explained the energy realm. We're in the frequency realm right now. Now in the frequency realm, as a parameter, God first forms of thoughts and ideas, those are the firstborn. Those are angels. So they're already here. So God, listen, God is not a spirit or an angel or none of that. Y'all need to understand these things. Now with these streams of ideas, right, our ability to have an individual aspect on this idea is how we became a form for God to take. So we are like messengers. So look at the angels like the first forms that God can take, the first light beings that God can use to explain God's message. So in this realm, right, these are the first forms and bodies that God can take. But in this realm, God see it as angels. Now, you would look at this in the physical realm and be like, okay, well, my thoughts and ideas are spirits and things of that nature. But you have to, this is why you have to understand astrology. You have to understand how low in the dimensions you are, how far low down you are, how much you're able to perceive and how much you can't perceive, and how much capability you have, to the point that you understand how small you are in this vast. But before we get there, now the birth of spirits, the birth of angels. Now each individual thought has its own frequency, its own timeline, its own ideas, own line of events, right? And once that idea start to vibrate, it's an individual. Now this individual that created the first light forms, the first light, this is before the physical realm is created, first light forms that God can take and God can come in those shapes and forms in order to convey a message, in order to see the parameter and see what information is needed in order to expand the parameter once it contracts, because everything is expansion, contraction, and the larger the expansion, the shorter the contraction, because the things that get built up in the blockage in the middle of that, because it, like for an example, expansion, contraction, that area of that expansion, contraction is things still there. So once it going through a travel, things get accumulated based on what's on relative to it. But if you're spiritually inclined, you will get that. But I don't want to get into a whole nother video to try to break that down to people who don't regularly get stuff. I want to stay on how spirits are birthed. So with each thought of God, each individual thought of God, right, are spirits. Now since these are the first thoughts, the firstborn, these are the angels. So look at these as the first shapes and forms that God can take in order to convey a message, or to extend or receive information, or to actually experience itself. So that's this realm right here. That's the frequency realm, period. And that's angels. So angels have certain concepts and ideas. So and then they carry it out. So for an example, for you to carry out your spiritual duty, it don't matter what you're into. As long as you're fully experiencing that duty, then you're giving yourself to the universe, and that's the aspect that you only need to do. You're not here to convey and add on to what you think, because what you got from another spirit as morals and things of that nature. And here's what I mean by that. See, what y'all call as God ain't nothing but like my brother, like a spirit is like your brother. See, but you don't know that. See, but Everybody ain't the firstborn. You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand that also. We got spirits that was born after. You got spirits that was born from other spirits. Spirits that was born lineage and offsprings and offsprings. You see what I'm saying? But for the most part, let's get to the firstborn. Now, when we talk about here, these ideas and thoughts, once they spread out and become an individual in their imagination, realm of reality of that overall thought, right? Then once they create offsprings and bounce off other spirits and create offsprings and things of that nature, this becomes where we get vibrations. Now this is where we get the vibrational realm, because we're relating to each other on these travel. You a spirit, I'm a spirit. We're relating. You might be going this way, I'm going this way, or you going that way, I'm going this way, whatever like that. And in between us is what's creating vibrations. Now vibrations is what creates other lights, other sounds in the lower density realm that can start, and this is where the waters get created. This is how waters, the rainbow waters, which y'all call space or void or imagination and thought, this is where that get created. Because based upon our spirit relativeness, like I said, if I'm an idea going this way, let me correlate it to y'all. Say you got a lot of ideas, right? And you teamwork makes the dream work. You're around a bunch of people who add on a bunch of ideas, right? What y'all create is an imagination vortex, a field. That's really the rainbow waters. This is the water that your soul be thirsty for. Anytime you get writer's block or anything like that, that's your soul being thirsty. You dehydrated from the rainbow waters, motherfucker. Now, what y'all created was the rainbow waters, the fluid. Y'all created a vibration. The bigger the vibration, the more bodies can be created, aka lights, sounds, informations, shapes, forms, and people that can embody that shit. You see? So as far as the vibration realm, when that relative moment that's between when you going in your direction, say we just bouncing off ideas and things of that nature. That's the same way in the spirit realm. When everybody going in their direction correlated to their ideas and them being their own individual self. How we was relating, that in between is what creates vibration. So this is where, if we all going in a straight line but in separate directions shit, this is where you get in between, you start to get the wave now. Because it's getting all the directions at one time. You start to get roundness now. You start to get spirals. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going this way, you going this way. Boom, that energy that we just did from each other, you get that spiral and shit. Boom, boom. We getting space now. We getting the rainbow waters now. You see, we getting vibrations now. Boom. So, bow. Within all those travels, it's frequency vibrations. It's like energetic forces that when we go back through these rotations, we get picked up by the rotation that we left off. So for an example, as a spirit, say you went that way as an idea, I went this way as an idea, then we cause a spiral in between. All spirits now, and say we go back in this direction again in another kind of way, right? We get picked up by that kind of spiral, so we relate to it differently. But in so many densities, when it comes down here, it just plays out in different waves. And since we're in the physical form down here, since y'all so low down here, y'all just look at it as whatever the world is doing at the moment. But up here, this is like the initial moments of this shit. I'm talking about the creation of the flood, the creation of the rainbow waters. This is where that came from, vibration. This is where all forms of fluid came from. This is why we don't have to look at things in straight lines anymore. This is all that shit. You know what I'm saying? So this is the vibration realm. And then once we keep doing that and keep changing locations and all that shit happen in between, that's more of an experience in that realm. So the more of an experience, the more something becomes heavy, then you get more of it, aka more space. We don't have to be so close no more. We separate because we done created so much more parameter, more space, and came back from the expansion and contraction. You see what I'm saying? It's like we all like motherfucking moving around now as spirits. Now, as far as your religion might just be a motherfucking spirit that's in the realm of reality that started creating its offsprings, and you might have been born under that spiritually. But before we get there, let's talk about this. Because you can't be blaming people for who got negative spirits either. That might be their spiritual path. Here's why. Now, once the rainbow waters, once that realm got created by the spirits, like I said, it took two spirits, but in this case, if it's a whole bunch of spirits, that's just like it's a whole bunch of male and females everywhere. You're going to get a whole bunch of kids in the country. Whole bunch of spirits everywhere. You're going to get a whole bunch of space. A whole bunch of waters. Rainbow waters and things of that nature. So now this rainbow waters is imagination. Because now this is where we get how we can relate to each other. And what's your space and what's my space? What I got imagination and domain over and what you got imagination and domain over. What kind of concepts and bodies and lights that you are. What kind of concept, bodies and lights and I am. And this is where I'll be talking about for years in my videos when I say every space is space within space, and every space got a frequency, different frequency vibration than the other one based upon what is relative to in space of other spaces. See, this is where I get all this shit from. Because I live this shit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to get all my soul group so we can experience this shit like a joyride. Now, for the most part, now, getting into the energy realm right now, that's when we create so much space and so much expansion and contraction goes on and so much heavy that things could be brought into density from the sound, lights, and the things that we've been creating with our imagination in this rainbow waters that we are creating based upon our spirit travel and shit like that. Now, this is where you start to get the physical things within that imagination. Now, in order for us to experience what we created, we got to create something to go into to experience that realm of reality. Now, what y'all perceive as physical now will be that. But in this realm, we was doing that as far as like gases, or what y'all would call as atoms and shit, which don't exist, or gases and shit that really don't exist. But this is the forms that I'm gonna call it now. This is the birth of the energy realm. The first type of light bodies that we can take to experience what we was creating in the rainbow waters. You know what I'm saying? So this is where you get all the lights and stars and shit now. You know what I'm saying? These are all forms of bodies. And within these are our imaginations condensed. You know what I'm saying? That's what we create. We use the elements of all our travels and the shit in the rainbow waters to create robots or vessels or things to go into to have, and we created senses, which now y'all would appear as organs and shit like that, but we created senses to go into as far as reflections and things of that nature so we can experience what we created. So these are forms of bodies. These are concepts and things of that nature. Now once we get to the physical form, this is where you get all the stuff that's in the rainbow waters now. All the shit that's in space. All the shit is in space. Now that whole process get duplicated again in the three worlds. So your spirit was birthed. So look at this now. As the firstborn, we have expanded the overall parameter so much that we make God. So this is why angels are called like the face of God or the messenger or this of God, because we are God. We are the makeup of God. You see what I'm saying? So as the angels and shit like that, as the firstborn, we didn't spread and expanded and contracted and expanded so much that we done created the organs for God. So we make up God, right? So now God got like a head space parameter, you know, this space parameter, a bottom space parameter, and this space parameter, and a lower space parameter. Now, each of these is like brains. So you could look at it in your physical form like you got a brain, then you got a lung, you got lung brains, you got kidney brains, you see what I'm saying? You got the liver brains. These are brains. You see what I'm saying? Now, as a spirit in that realm, we know brains carry thoughts, imaginations, make you think, entice you and shit like that, right? So in the frequency realm, like I say, every realm got a frequency, vibration, energy. In the frequency realm, your spirit might have been born from either the heart brain, or you could have had a spirit, or your spirit might have been born from the mind brain, from the brain. You know what I'm saying? Or your spirit might have been born from the kidney brain or the lower brain and shit like that. Now listen, what does this mean? Because your spirit was born trillions. We can't even put years and shit on it because y'all equate everything to the energy realm. But this is how you understand past lives and how you took many vessels before you and the one that you are in now. Now, as a spirit, you was born, let's just say ages ago, because I don't want to correlate it to the physical realm and time and structure and shit like that and pattern. But your spirit been here for a while. But your spirit might have been born in the head idea of God, and then or from an angel, and then you might be next to somebody who was born down by the liver, right? So y'all spiritual travel here is different. Y'all got two different spiritual paths. You know what I'm saying? You may be here to get enlightened and to come more with ideas and thoughts. This person may be come here to experience more of the fluid, or more of the emotions or the feelings, or more of bringing itself into density. But the spirit itself is on its own path. Some spirits is here to lose their bodies. Some spirits is here to experience a lot of bodies. Some spirits is here and don't know why they're here, but they in a body. It's a whole bunch of shit. So for the most part, when you come across a negative spirit, it's not really your thing to try to change them, or it's not really your duty and obligation to try to make them realize your world, because wherever spirit you was birthed by don't have nothing to do with that spirit or that idea of God. So you can't mix and mingle that. You know what I'm saying? You'll be wasting your time. Everybody is on their own. This is where you get the concept of what's right for you may be wrong for me. Because I might be doing something that consists of doing things in these kind of ideas. I might play motherfucking checkers, so I have to do things with these ideas. Then you come in with chess and you try to tell me to do some checkers, to do some chess ideas on checkers. No, if you play a chess, that's your path. You see what I'm saying? It's like an analogy. That's what I'm saying. You can't force the person who playing checkers to play checkers like chess. Because the person who playing checkers, that's their path. So how they gonna win is doing things like checkers. They're not gonna win doing things like chess. So you can't be somewhere frustrated that they're not doing things like chess. And when you see them win, you may even start hating. Like, oh, this motherfucker or whatever like that. Then you start playing chess like checkers. And then you keep losing and shit like, why I can't do that? It's all fucked up. So you gotta understand. If you understand this realm of reality and understand how spirits are birthed, then you'll understand that your spirit come from a long lineage line. This is where you get the understanding of some people are truly so indoctrinated that some people are truly a part of Muhammad. Some people are truly a part of Jesus. Some people are truly a part of these things. So it's like when a person say I'm Ma'at, or I'm Asad, or I'm Tahuti, or people got all these names, I'm a pharaoh, or I'm this. Some people are that. That's what they experienced. So they're just a family lineage of that spiritually. And when they come here, they take one of these bodies here that has enough light force that can take the shape and form of that energetic frequency vibration. It can play the light. It can play the person. It can play the role. It can play the actions. It can come in the name of that frequency vibration. That spirit becoming an individual spirit, which is a soul, and being into a body, a light that can take that shape and form of whatever lineage that they had. You see what I'm saying? So this is how you get people who are successful just because they're doing the same thing that their grandparents may have done, or things of that nature. So it goes very deep. But that's how spirits, that's how angels are born. They are the firstborn, aka the first ideas of God. And then you have the offsprings. And then I explained to y'all how the rainbow waters, which is the space, was created, which is the yin realm, the emotions and feelings. And then throughout all these travels, there was a bunch of shit and bunch of wars and bunch of things that happened that accumulated certain energy frequency vibrations, which is bodies, worlds, and things that you could take on as a being. And based upon your spirit and your travel, you could take a lot of these things on at one time. So that's how we even got all kind of different species, and you have the woman and you have the man and things of that nature. I can even break down how female and woman spirits was born. Because as an idea, the spirit that you was next to needed something to relate to. Now in this realm, it's not correlated to male and female. In this realm, it's just a relation. It's just a relation. And with that relation, in this realm, y'all so far down into density and play out as cells and organisms and things of that nature that's how y'all perceive this energy. That's how y'all perceive relating. And that's how we perceive things. And we didn't added so many parts to us that make it, and then correlated names to it and call it male and female, whereas really this truly this two things coming together to create another thing. But it's like the expansion and contraction is so wide now that things are so separate the things that was created is so separate that the perception of what's really going on is going to be separate. So it's always doing what's really going on. It's just the perception of it is what's separate. You see what I'm saying? So you have to, that's the only thing you have to understand. Like, everything is not one. Everything comes from one. It's just the perception make it seem like everything comes from one. But you can never truly become God. You see what I'm saying? You can never become God. So that lets you know that your spirit didn't become you. You was always your spirit. Your spirit got birth. You became an individual spirit, and you created a bunch of vessels and bodies for you to inhabit, to experience what you are creating for yourself. Simple. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air.